the man who wrote the words, "All men are created equal." The author of these words enslaved over 600 people during his lifetime. The archive does not stop at the Virginia Slave Code. It walks directly into Philadelphia, and it signs its name to the Declaration of Independence. Hello, everyone. My name is Professor Khaleed. Welcome back to Journey Through the Colonial Archives. Episode 9. Over our first 8 episodes, we followed a paper trail across 6 centuries. We read the documents that built the colonial world, from Zurara's 1453 chronicle that made racism popular, to the papal bulls that made it law, to the charters that made it profitable, to the slave codes that made it permanent. Today, the trail leads somewhere most of us thought we already knew: Philadelphia, 1776, and 3 documents that would become the foundation of the most powerful nation in human history, written by men whose names are already on the paper trail we have been following all along. This is where the real journey begins. To understand why the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights belong in the Colonial Archive, you have to understand who wrote them. Thomas Jefferson, primary author of the Declaration of Independence, enslaved over 600 people across his lifetime. He was a Virginia planter whose wealth was built on the headright system, the 1662 hereditary slavery law, and the Virginia Slave Code of 1705, the same legal architecture we examined in episodes 6 and 7. James Madison, primary architect of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, enslaved over 100 people. He was among the largest slaveholders in Virginia. His political power, like Jefferson's, derived directly from the land and labor the Iron Triangle had built. George Washington, presiding officer of the Constitutional Convention, enslaved over 300 people at Mount Vernon. He signed both the Constitution and the Bill of Rights into law. These are not incidental biographical details. They are the archive speaking. The men who wrote the founding documents were not abstract philosophers operating outside history. They were the planter elite, the same class whose wealth and political dominance had been built, document by document, through every paper trail we have followed in this series. The archive does not stop at the Virginia Slave Code of 1705. It walks directly into Philadelphia in 1776, and it signs its name to the Declaration of Independence. Here is the question the archive forces us to ask: how do men who own human beings write that all men are created equal? How does the same legal system that defines enslaved people as property for every purpose except land grants produce a document declaring that all people are endowed by their Creator with unalienable rights? The answer is not hypocrisy in the ordinary sense. Hypocrisy implies a gap between what a person believes and what they do. What the founding documents reveal is something more precise and more damning: a deliberate legal and philosophical architecture designed to hold 2 irreconcilable realities simultaneously: freedom as the nation's proclaimed identity, slavery as the nation's actual economic foundation. The nation proclaimed one thing and authorized another in the same document, signed by the same hands. And the nation has been living inside that split ever since. Every political crisis in American history, Reconstruction and its betrayal, Jim Crow and its legal architecture, the civil rights movement and its incomplete victories, the present moment and its reversals, is a re-eruption of the same foundational wound. The contradiction was not resolved at the founding. It was institutionalized. And institutionalized contradictions do not disappear. They return. The archive reveals 3 things about the founding documents that the standard narrative does not. First, they were not written in a vacuum. They were written by men who had spent their entire lives operating within the colonial paper trail we have followed. The Declaration of Independence did not emerge from abstract Enlightenment philosophy alone. It emerged from the specific political and economic circumstances of men whose wealth depended on slavery. Second, they were edited. The Declaration of Independence Jefferson submitted to the Continental Congress contained a passage condemning the slave trade, calling it a cruel war against human nature itself. That passage was deleted, removed at the insistence of Southern delegates who could not afford to have their economic foundation condemned in the nation's founding document. What was deleted from the Declaration of Independence is as important as what remained. Third, they were designed. The Constitution's 3/5 compromise, its fugitive slave clause, its 20-year protection of the slave trade. These were not reluctant concessions to political necessity. They were precise legal mechanisms protecting the planter elite's investment in human property. The founding documents are not a departure from the colonial paper trail. They are its most sophisticated expression. In our next 3 episodes, we will read each founding document carefully: the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, following the paper trail through each one the same way we have followed every document in this archive. We will read what they say, we will read what they were edited to omit, and we will follow the trail from the signing room in Philadelphia to the world we live in today. The founding documents are publicly available. Read them. And when you read them alongside the Virginia Slave Code of 1705. Read them alongside the Royal African Company Charter. Read them alongside Act 12 of 1662. Follow the trail from the Colonial Counting House to the signing room in Philadelphia and ask yourself, are these the documents of men who believed all men were created equal? Or are these the documents of men who knew exactly what they were protecting? You cannot change what you cannot see. I'm Professor Khaleed. Join me next time as we continue our journey through the Colonial Archives. Subscribe, follow, and share to help us uncover more of the archive. Full episodes are available on YouTube with links in our bio.